There comes a moment in every believer's life when the noise of the world fades, when the support of people disappears, and when every effort seems to go unnoticed. You pray, but there is silence. You cry, but there is no reply. You try to explain your pain, but no one truly understands. It's in those moments, when all seems silent, that Allah listens the most. Because Allah's silence is never neglect, it is divine attention disguised in patience. He is not ignoring you, He is preparing you. He is not distant, He is near, watching the state of your heart, seeing whether you will still believe when there is nothing left but faith itself. Sometimes Allah removes every worldly voice from around you so that you finally hear His. When no one answers your calls, when no one replies to your messages, and when you feel invisible, that's the moment He calls you toward Himself. The silence is His invitation. It's not a punishment, it's purification. He takes away the distractions so your soul can rediscover the source of peace, Him alone. And when you finally sit with your pain in front of Him, when your words stumble and your heart trembles, He listens not to your tongue, but to your sincerity. He listens to the sighs, the breaths, the tears, and the stillness of your heart. Because what we fail to say, Allah already knows. Many people think silence means Allah has turned away, but in reality, silence is where Allah teaches you how to listen not to the world, but to the truth within your own heart. The Prophet taught us that Allah is closer to us than our jugular vein. That means even when you feel utterly alone, He is already beside you, closer than anyone could ever be. The trials that isolate you are the same ones that push you toward that closeness. That is where faith deepens not in comfort, but in loneliness. Because it's in silence that the believer learns the meaning of asterisk, sabr asterisk, patience, and asterisk, tawakkul asterisk, trust. The heart that continues to make dua even when no answer comes is the heart that Allah loves most. The believer who keeps praying while fighting tears is not weak, they are chosen. For Allah says, "Call upon me, I will respond." But that response comes in forms we often overlook. Sometimes He gives you what you ask for. Sometimes He delays it because the time is not right. And sometimes He replaces it with something infinitely better apiece that this world can't offer. That's why the silence is never empty. It's full of wisdom, full of mercy, full of unseen answers already taking shape. When you cry at night, thinking no one hears, remember He is the one who hears the tear before it falls. He is the one who knows the heaviness in your chest that you can't put into words. He is the one who sees the smile you force just to keep others from worrying. And He is the one who will never let a sincere prayer go unheard. Every whisper to Him matters. Every dua made in loneliness is recorded, preserved, and answered at the perfect time. Sometimes that answer is not in the form of change around you, but change within you. The strength you feel after breaking down, that is His answer. The calm after the storm, that is His mercy. The realization that you survived what once felt unbearable, that is His proof. So when everything around you falls silent, do not mistake that silence for absence. Because Allah's silence is not rejection, it's reflection. He is allowing you to grow, to trust, and to strengthen your bond with Him. The quiet moments are the most sacred ones, where you stop chasing the world and start seeking your Creator. It's in that sacred stillness that your heart finally whispers, "Ya Allah, I know you hear me." And He does always. Discipline is one of the most forgotten acts of faith. We often think of discipline as something external, waking up early, following routines, or working hard, but in truth, spiritual discipline begins in the heart. It is the quiet, consistent choice to trust Allah even when the outcome is hidden. It is choosing patience over panic, prayer over complaint, and persistence over despair. When we say we are tired, it's rarely the body that's weak. It's the soul that's lost its rhythm with Allah. Because when the heart is disciplined in remembrance, even the hardest moments feel lighter, even the heaviest burdens feel bearable. There is a difference between waiting and trusting. Many people wait for Allah to answer, but only a few trust Him during the wait. That is where discipline shines. It's easy to be faithful when things are going your way, when prayers are answered quickly, when doors open effortlessly, when peace surrounds you. But when those doors close, when the answers are delayed, and when silence lingers, that is when Allah observes the true strength of your faith. Will you remain consistent? Will you still bow your head in sujud with the same devotion, even when the heart aches for a sign? Because that is what disciplined faith looks like, doing the right thing not because it's easy, but because it's right. Allah never promised a life free of struggle. He promised that through every struggle, He would be with you. The disciplined believer holds onto that promise. They understand that faith is not a moment of emotion, it's a lifetime of practice. Every prayer performed on time, every sin resisted, every word held back in anger, every act of gratitude in hardship, these are small, daily disciplines that build the fortress of the soul. And once the soul is disciplined, no storm can break it. The body may tire, the heart may weep, but the believer's resolve stays steady because they are anchored by something eternal. Most people quit not because they can't go on, but because they expect instant results. They want Allah to answer now, to make things easy now, to show signs now. But faith doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in the dark soil of patience. Allah delays so that you can develop, not despair. He withholds to refine your sincerity, to strengthen your spiritual stamina. That delay you dislike is often the very moment He's preparing you for what you prayed for. And if you lose discipline there, if you stop praying, stop trusting, stop hoping, you cut yourself off from the very blessing that was on its way. The most beautiful thing about disciplined faith is that it's silent but powerful. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove it to people. You just keep walking the path, trusting that Allah sees every effort, even the ones no one acknowledges. You keep performing your prayers, even when your heart feels empty. You keep giving charity, even when you have little. You keep forgiving, even when it hurts. Because you're not doing it for the world's applause, you're doing it for the one who never forgets. Discipline in faith means believing that your consistency matters more than your comfort. It means knowing that the reward is not just in the result, but in the persistence itself. If you find yourself saying, "I'm tired," remind yourself you're not tired, you're undisciplined. You've let your emotions lead instead of your faith. The solution isn't to quit. It's to realign. Start small. One prayer on time. One sincere dua. One act of gratitude. Let your discipline rebuild your strength. Because the truth is, Allah strengthens those who stay steady. He raises those who remain patient. He blesses those who continue to trust Him even when they cannot trace Him. You're not tired, your heart just needs to remember who you're doing it for. So many people reach a point in life where they say, "I can't do this anymore. I'm exhausted. I'm done." But the truth is, you're not tired, you've just forgotten your purpose. When you forget why you're doing something, even the smallest tasks begin to feel like mountains. But when you reconnect with your purpose, even the hardest struggles start to feel meaningful. You see, tiredness doesn't always come from the body. It comes from a heart that has lost direction. The soul becomes weary not because the journey is long, but because it no longer remembers where it's headed. Purpose is what gives life energy. It's what turns effort into worship and pain into purification. When you know that everything you do, every challenge you face, every tear you shed, is seen and valued by Allah, your fatigue transforms into fuel. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Use me, Ya Allah." That shift changes everything, because when you move for the sake of Allah, the same path that once felt heavy becomes light. The same storm that once felt unbearable becomes a journey of closeness to Him. The body may still feel tired, but the heart starts to find peace again, and that peace becomes your power. We live in a world that constantly tells us to chase results, success, recognition, approval. And when those things don't come, we lose motivation. But purpose isn't built on outcomes, it's built on intention. Allah doesn't look at what you achieve, He looks at why you strive. If your purpose is to please people, you will always feel drained because people are never fully satisfied. But if your purpose is to please Allah, you will always find strength because He never lets your effort go to waste. Even when the world overlooks your work, Allah counts every step, every prayer, every sacrifice, and nothing with Him is ever lost. The moment you realign your effort with your purpose, your heart revives. Suddenly, what once felt meaningless becomes sacred. The long hours of struggle become acts of devotion. The failures become lessons. The obstacles become training grounds for patience. This is what happens when the believer remembers that life is not meant to be easy. It's meant to be meaningful. Every challenge you face is designed to push you closer to who you are meant to be, someone who trusts Allah through every stage of the journey. Because when your purpose is rooted in faith, no failure can destroy you. It can only redirect you. Think of it this way: the one who forgets their purpose looks at hardship and sees punishment. The one who remembers their purpose looks at hardship and sees preparation. Allah does not burden a soul beyond its capacity. That means every trial that arrives is custom, made for your growth. And when you look at it through that lens, exhaustion turns into endurance. You stop running away from your challenges and start walking through them with trust. You begin to see that maybe what feels like a detour is actually the path itself. If your heart feels drained, it's not because you've been doing too much, it's because you've been doing it without connection. Reconnect your actions to Allah, wake up for Him, work for Him, be kind for Him, forgive for Him. Every time you align your intention back to your Creator, He fills you with a strength this world can't explain. That strength is what allows you to keep moving even when everything around you tells you to stop. You're not tired, you've just forgotten who you're doing it for. There comes a point when you feel like you've given everything you had, your energy, your hope, your tears, and yet nothing seems to change. You look around and wonder why life keeps knocking you down, why the same struggles keep repeating, and why the help you've been praying for hasn't arrived. But what you don't see is that in those very moments, Allah is rewriting your story. What feels like the end to you is, in reality, the beginning of something new. Allah never closes a door without preparing another one to open. But sometimes He needs to keep you waiting in the hallway to strengthen your patience and deepen your faith. When you rise again after falling, it's not just a comeback, it's a declaration of faith. Every time you choose hope over despair, every time you pick yourself up after failure, you're proving to Allah that your trust in Him is greater than your fear of loss. That act of rising is powerful because Allah loves those who don't give up on Him. You may have been broken, disappointed, or misunderstood, but the very moment you rise again, Allah writes a new chapter in your life, one filled with lessons, resilience, and blessings that only the brokenhearted can appreciate. We often think Allah's delays are punishments, but they are actually protection. He delays because He knows the timing that will serve you best. If He were to give you everything you asked for the moment you asked, you would never grow, never learn, never become who you're meant to be. Every pause in life is a process of preparation. Allah is not saying no, He's saying not yet, because the blessings He wants to give you require a stronger version of you, a wiser, more grateful, more patient version. So, while you're waiting, He's not ignoring you, He's shaping you, and when the time is right, what's meant for you will reach you effortlessly. It's in rising after failure that you truly discover who you are. You learn that strength isn't in never falling, it's in never staying down. You start to see that every setback carries a hidden mercy. The pain you endured was not wasted. It built your endurance. The loss you suffered taught you gratitude. The silence you faced taught you to listen to your own heart. Allah allows you to fall so that you can learn to rise through Him. And once you've risen through Allah, no fall can ever break you again. Sometimes you'll rise quietly, without applause, without recognition, and that's okay. Because Allah sees what others overlook. He knows the effort it took to smile again, to forgive again, to try again. And every one of those silent victories is recorded by Him. There is beauty in that hidden resilience, the kind that no one praises, but Allah rewards. You see, this world may celebrate success, but Allah celebrates sincerity. It's not about how fast you rise, but how faithfully you rise. It's about who you become in the process. So, the next time life knocks you down, remember that the story isn't over yet. You may be in a chapter of struggle, but Allah is the author, and He never ends a believer's story in pain. There is always redemption, always hope, always light waiting to unfold. The storm that once seemed endless will soon become a memory that shaped your strength. You'll look back one day and realize that everything you went through was necessary for you to grow into the person Allah destined you to be. Rise again, not because you have the strength, but because you know Allah will give it to you.